The Big Picture, a Christian insight on the world of film, television and popular culture, with magazine editor Ben McEachen and scriptwriter Mark Hadley. 3D glasses on, amps to 11, screens to maximum. Get ready for The Big Picture.
This Boxing Day, there are a couple of movies for the kids and their entourage, of course. That's us, basically. And we're sitting there wondering what we're going to do as parents. Well, one of the things you're probably going to do is see the big one, The Good Dinosaur. Not just because it's about ancient creatures. The Good Dinosaur is the latest all-ages adventure from Pixar. Now, Pixar is the must-see studio, the world's most popular animation studio.
Responsible for movies like, Toy Story 1, 2 and 3, which featured a little song that we might have played moments ago.
Now, they didn't do Pocahontas, we just might add as we're going on. But Ben says there's a lot that's familiar about the new Pixar film, including a take-home message that demands a deeper investigation before we all take it home.
We need to get home.
I got a job for you. Keep on the dodge and sidle up the loblolly past them hornheads.
What?
That creature protected you. What is his name?
I don't know.
I name him, I keep him. Killer.
Stinky!
Violet.
Spike!
Lunatic!
Spot! Spot! Come here, Spot, come here! Well, ain't you just the cutest thing? I'm done being scared.
If you ain't scared, you ain't alive.
So about several million years ago, there was this little dinosaur called Arlo, and he's an Apatosaurus, something like that. Apatosaurus. Like, listen to me. I'm a dinosaur expert, and especially after The Good Dinosaur. So Arlo, he's got a couple of siblings and some nice parents. They live on a farm. There were farms back in the day that dinosaurs worked on, and he's going about his business. But he's a bit of a scaredy cat, is Arlo, and his dad keeps telling him to face his fear. He's also got this mantra about life of making your mark. So Arlo's got this swirling around in his head about making his mark and got to man up a little bit. And long story short, some things happen where eventually, and like tends to go down in animated films, there's got to be a journey of some sort and a quest back home, as that clip just demonstrated. And so Arlo finds himself a long way away from home and has to get back, and is befriended somewhat by a human boy who's on all fours and acts a little bit like a loyal dog. So I think there's some kind of evolutionary comment going on in The Good Dinosaur at that point.
Isn't the premise of the film that the meteorite didn't hit the planet, and so I guess we didn't evolve, but the dinosaurs did? But
the dinosaurs did, that's exactly right. It's a very subtle start to The Good Dinosaur along those lines. And then there's another thing that I was trying to tread carefully around to not give too much away, but something happens with Arlo's relationship with his father that, well, Mark, might remind you a little bit of a movie called The Lion King.
Yeah, okay, so just keep in mind that if you've got young kids, there is going to be a fair degree of death in this film.
Yeah, well, there you go. You just named it. I was trying to.
I was just trying to put a couple of things together.
I was just trying to tread around that.
Let the reader understand.
But as an adult watching this film, and as an adult who can remember, let's say 20 years ago when The Lion King came out, there are a number of similarities in the storyline of The Good Dinosaur. But there are also a number of similarities in the storyline of The Good Dinosaur to all kinds of other stories. And one of the downside, one of the disappointing aspects of The Good Dinosaur was from an animation studio like Pixar that has been so renowned for the inventive ways that it tells the same old story. This one lacked those inventive waves for me. I was a guy who didn't really like Inside Out that much this year, but in contrast, Inside Out is an amazing piece of work that has such inventive, creative ideas in it. Yeah. The Good Dinosaur seemed to lack that. It felt a little bit lethargic. It's very beautiful and pretty, but the obstacles and the life lessons that Arlo has to go through on this, even kids, and this is pitched at, I think, 5 or 6 year old kids, the kind of kids that were seeing Blinky Bill earlier in the year. It's like really, really pitched at youngsters. Even they will recognize how familiar and predictable and somewhat repetitive of other stories The Good Dinosaur is, and how it can't really cover its tracks on that front.
It does sound a bit colour by numbers. So The Good Dinosaur is rated PG.
It is.
How scary is it for younger viewers?
Well, as you named the name of it, there is death in this. That's true, and that turns up in loads of Pixar and Disney films. And now Disney's under the bigger... Pixar is now back under the umbrella of Disney. It's almost like Disney forgot they made The Lion King, and then the Pixar came in with their script and they went, "Oh, that sounds great. We've never seen that before. Let's do that." It is scary, and there's some blasts of violence in it where Arlo comes into quite a few kerfuffles with other creatures back in the ancient times where dinosaurs were battling it out for survival, and there's even some weird choices, I thought, given how environmentally sensitive we are and how much people around the world seem to be in love with loving animals. I was quite amazed at some of the creatures that got their heads ripped off and some of the ways that dinosaurs ate other dinosaurs. They actually showed that.
They're doing the eating on screen.
They even showed that. So yes, word of warning, there's PG for a reason, and it might creep the kids out a little bit.
There's usually at least one family message, though, in these family films, something to take away. What did you think The Good Dinosaur was trying to say?
I think it's fairly easy to pick up what it's trying to say because it said
watch what you eat.
Because it said there was that, but the bigger one, which they hammer home often, is make your mark. Make your mark, and the father character of Arlo's dad is big on making your mark in life, and it's not really clear exactly what that is. So what I'd be advising parents and kids as they go into this movie and take that take-home message is think about what does that actually mean. In the movie, it's not very well articulated, so it seems to just be if you find something that you're good at, like clearing away the sticks or helping your parents like put the crops in, that's making your mark. But I don't quite get why that is, but also the pressure that comes on a child from saying make your mark. What if they don't?
Does Arlo kind of like feel driven by the fact that
there's a lot of pressure on him, but what I found more interesting, I think, was not just the beauty of the finding your family unit that surfaces late in The Good Dinosaur, really quite a powerful moment. There's a bit about overcoming your fear that comes up in The Good Dinosaur that rather than focusing on the pressure and making kids feel like they have to make their mark, I think helping kids overcoming fear is a great thing. It caused me to think about everything from like stuff like Jesus reaching his hand out to Peter in the boat, the disciple, when the storm is going on that we read about in Luke's gospel, and he says, "Don't be afraid, step out in the water with me." Those kind of moments, if you can help your children understand that with God, you do not need to be afraid. There's things that you can be fearful of, but you don't need to be afraid. There'll be this strength and comfort provided to you and a determination and grit that comes your way. If you can think that through and help your kids understand that, that's much better than just these kind of bumper sticker messages that come out of The Good Dinosaur. So for me, it's a bit of a letdown on the Pixar front. It'll be big on Boxing Day. Plenty of people will see it. But in the scheme of all the Pixar movies, it's a long way down the list.
Okay, well, look, The Good Dinosaur opens at cinemas nationally on Boxing Day, as we said. It's rated PG for mild themes, which includes eating things and threatening scenes that may scare young children. That's their words, not ours. The vocals in this Pixar cartoon are provided by Jeffrey Wright, Frances McDormand, Mark Scribner, and oh so many, many more.
Yeah, plenty of other people. Speaking of plenty of other things and Boxing Day related, go to Insight's website, go to insights.uca.org.au and check out Russ Matthews' Boxing Day wrap-up. This month in December, as he sees all the previews of all the Boxing Day releases that are coming up, Russ is going to be filing his reviews all the time on Insights, and guess we'll be making a special guest appearance on the show next week, Mark.
Indeed, the Ruster himself.
The Russmeister himself, Russ Matthews, will be here.
Okay, well, look, still to come now showing, we're going to talk about Youth, another big Boxing Day release. Also, we're going to look at the history of Boxing Day films with Dave Brown, the editor-in-chief at Empire Magazine.
The Big Picture is a Bible Society Australia production and part of Hope 1032's family of podcasts and vodcasts.